All right, 1 year ago, we met a 46-year-old Pittsford mother diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. And as you can imagine, it's changed every aspect of her family's life. I checked back in with the Norton family to see how they're learning to live with the uncertainty of what's to come.
Yeah.
Amy Norton is in the middle of telling her caregiver a story. Amy has two primary caregivers who split the week keeping her company. These visits are just one of the many changes for the Norton family since we first met them 1 year ago. Over time, Amy has become less aware of her condition. She's more relaxed, more vocal, and calmer with fewer bouts of aggression.
A year ago, with the disease, she was really more, I think, closed up for many reasons. And as she's lost some self-awareness through the disease, she's become more comfortable, relaxed, smiles more, gives hugs more.
Amy was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2.5 years ago. The disease has robbed her of her memory. But over the last year, her husband, Brian, says parts of her personality have actually returned. A year ago, we spent a day with Amy, and she barely spoke. That, too, has changed.
Really, for the last 6 or 7 months, we really don't know what she's saying to us so much. But she's telling a story and she's talking with us. So we just sort of try to read into what she's saying and go along with it.
She's also more energetic.
Ready?
She's able to keep up with 16-year-old Megan and 13-year-old Justin shooting hoops in the driveway. Moments like these are a gift, a break for the Norton children from the reality that Alzheimer's will cause their mother's condition to change again.
I think we've definitely gotten more comfortable with it. We've adapted pretty well to our surroundings and how it's changed. And having a caregiver here definitely helps a lot more because now he can spend more time with us, but also we have somebody here to take care of our mom.
Can't do much, but he's still with us.
Does it bother you sometimes?
Sometimes, here and there. But I just get over it, it's fine. There'll always be tomorrow, so that's how I think.
And again, it is a real honor for us to be able to tell the Nortons' story, and we thank them for opening their home to us for these two reports we've done. Amy is one of more than 5 million Americans living with that early onset Alzheimer's. It affects people under the age of 65. And as you can imagine, the Nortons have become very vocal in trying to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association, which has helped their family through this process. This year, they raised the family has a group, a walking group called Hugs for Mom. They raised more than $10,000 for their walk this year. So they're doing their part. And if you have a loved one with Alzheimer's and you want to learn more about the Alzheimer's Association's programs and resources, go to 13wham.com right now. We've got a link up there with more helpful information.
You can live for years and years and years with Alzheimer's if you get it much older than she had it at early onset.
Right.
What is it? What's the life expectancy for someone who has what she has?
Yeah, and that's the reality, is that this is, an illness that can take people's lives. We know this. But people, as you said, can live a long time with this illness. And doctors have actually studied early onset Alzheimer's patients to see if there's a difference in longevity. The reality is that they don't know. The reality is that at this point, they cannot correlate an early onset diagnosis to living longer or to even a shortened lifespan. They can't necessarily say if there is a link at this point. But we do know that the disease affects them, younger patients, as it does the older patients as well. There's a continuum of symptoms and signs, and it happens, and it affects all of them. And it affects the family, too.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that family is just the way they have adjusted to the reality of the situation, and part of the reality is not knowing what tomorrow's going to be like.
Yeah, and they've done the best they can to plan. The caregivers are really giving them a break. The caregivers that come to the home to keep Amy company during the day so that Brian can go to work and the kids can go to school. It's given them a chance to have a little bit of freedom, but they know that inevitably this will change again, and we hope to check back in with the family from time to time to see how they're doing. And again, my thanks to them.
Yeah, for sharing the story.
It's not easy to let a camera crew in your house, and they were gracious to us.
Well, I'm sure they feel they're doing some good by doing it.
Yeah.
And that's
the advocacy for them is how they're coping too.
All right. Great story.